Welcome back, YouTubers. This is Congrexes Prime coming at you with another State of Decay 2 Beginner's Guide to Completing Nightmare Zone, episode number 2. And we're going to start this by addressing a question that was asked on the comments of the first video of episode 1. And it was a pretty cool question. And I want to read the question to you guys first, and then we're going to go through my answer. Alright guys, the part of the question where I'm going to be reading, it's highlighted in yellow, and the person who left a comment, her name was Dark Lady T, and her question was, if I was really interested to hear your take on builds as well. Generally, I've heard people comment on skills they like or not, but not on builds it would be good to focus on. For what purpose? And this is a very cool question, and whenever I hear the word builds, I think like MMO for some reason. But I have a video clip here of a character that I have that's maxed out with two particular skills that I think that are very, very important, especially at nighttime in this game. And as you guys can see, I'm running full speed. I'm running, I'm jumping over stuff, and look at my blue bar. I took some damage from the bloaters, and I'm also using a skill there called gunslinging there. You notice I'm moving and I'm shooting, but I'm also aiming at their heads. It's kind of like a snap aim ability. It's called gunslinging, but that's not what we're going to be talking about. I'm talking about watch that blue bar. As my blue bar decreases, you guys see that? It's getting lower and lower, right? I don't pop on a snack. All I do here is start running in circles. Look, I just run a circle, my blue bar comes back, and I'm ready to continue combat. Boom, dodge them, and I get hung up on the animation there. Then once I just stomp the head out of the zombie and it's over. And the question is, how did I do that? How did my blue bar stay up? So here's the answer, guys. The answer is marathon. As long as you can keep your character under light conditions, which means when you look at your inventory and you have like a bar at the very top, if it's green, that means you're under light conditions. If you're yellow, you're not under light conditions. Therefore, this is mitigated. So how do you stay under light condition is basically carrying a lighter load, lighter weapons, and keeping that bar green. That way you can do that. You can actually enable what Marathon does. And the second skill that I think is very important in Nightmare Zone, specifically at nighttime, because your visibility is very limited, is stealth. So you can run around in stealth, you go in a crouch position, and you can move faster while you're stealth, and you also can open doors while you're on the stealth position. You can lock pick them and not barge in through the doors. So that is, I think, the two skill sets that are the most important in Nightmare Zone at nighttime, in my opinion. So if there was two things I was looking for, specifically for nighttime, those would be the two things. Now, in terms of like gunslinging and any other combat traits and skills, that's entirely up to you guys. Like, you know, that's just flavor. I don't think there's like a really, really strong combat ability in this game that it's gonna break the game, except for maybe gunslinging if you know how to use it. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you so much for leaving that comment. Um, you know, I had to front load this in front of the video because I already had pre-recorded it, you know, before you asked the question, but I wanted to put it on the next video. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. We're gonna go ahead and roll my intro. We're gonna get the actual gameplay and beginner's guide going now. Alright guys, so now that the intro is done and over with, we're going to go ahead and select our homestead here, the last folks standing. That's the name of the group that we're currently in, working on this beginner's guide. And basically I'm just waiting for the game to load right now. And I believe we left off right at the outpost, our very first outpost we made, which is a medical outpost. And there was a plague heart across the street, I believe. And when I first start the game, I start looking around and I'm trying to figure out like what's my next move. So being that I have all these buildings in the surrounding area that are not uncovered, I want to go jump on a billboard and get a bird's eye view of this place, you know. And sure, you can drive around with your car and look if you want to, but at the beginning of the game, you're going to be wasting gas, and on top of wasting gas, you also can put yourself in a bind with making noise, and you may or may not be ready for that. You know what I mean? So, being that your character is low level, you got your hand. You got. We got our hands on a crossbow. We can play it safe. We can, clear the surrounding zombies before you jump on the ladder, and they become alerted to you. They'll verberate. Verberation is normally like when they yell, they make a call, and then they'll call more zombies, and then it just escalates. That's like the standard thing that happens in Nightmare Zone. And in the first couple of days, it's not that bad. The zombies are a little docile, you know, the first few days in Nightmare Zone, but they start to ramp up and it gets worse and worse as we continue on, you know, past day three, I believe. It's when it really starts to ramp up, at least in my experience. So I got a kind of a bird's eye view of the situation here. I know where all the supplies are, guys, but let's just say you didn't know where the supplies were at. That's what that's how you want to do it. You want to check every building to see if there's anything in particular you want in resources. And I'm checking right here, like my character, like who am I gonna level next? And I'm looking at their traits, but most importantly, their hero ability. So I decided that Ed, it's gonna be the last character I work on in this trifecta team. So it's gonna be her, and it's gonna be, I think her name is Crystal or Christy, I think that's her name is. And we're gonna work on them because they have the best hero abilities. And I think here I want to put get a little fashionable and put either a hat or a cap. I think I ended up putting a Scully on her, and just because I want to put something on her head, and just going through all the different stuff there, just because there's a lot of new stuff that I hadn't covered, that I hadn't really put on any characters. So I'm just kind of, there it goes. I ended up putting up the Scully on her, and but that's what I did. I looked around the area. I got a nice bird's eye view. I figured out which are going to be the places I'm going to loot first, and then I have to make a decision because we are on day two, and I do want to do this quest. Now, there's something that a lot of people don't know about the game. Let's say I get this quest in the very beginning of the game, and I have not killed my first plague heart. I don't know if you noticed, but on the last episode, I shot a bunch of zombies, and I only got one plague sample. I think that until you complete this quest, the actual sample rate is lowered. I don't know if it's 100% true or if this can be verified by somebody else, but in my experience, every time I don't do this quest, and I went like 3 days without doing the quest one time just so I can loot really good and take my time when I was doing a playthrough all by myself, and my sample rates were real low. The minute I turned that quest in, I started getting a better amount of samples, with my characters, even if I'm headshotting them with a crossbow, which it's supposed to um, give you more samples by shooting them with a crossbow in the head. So the sample rate I think is reduced until you complete that quest. I'm pretty darn sure. I want to say I'm like 99.9% sure. Anybody else has played the game a long time, if you guys want to drop a comment below and tell me if you guys feel the same way about it. In my experience, that's what it's always been. So what I'm trying to do here is not make a lot of noise. The zombies will start populating. Well, I don't have a choice now because I want to come in, so I ended up breaking through the door. But you see how I had to barge in that way. Later on, I'm going to show you guys a better way of doing that. Right now, we don't have an option because these characters don't have any skills. So what I'm going to do here is loot the surrounding vicinity here. But I'm also contemplating, do I want to, oh yeah, the zombie came through and there you go. He bounced back, so I'm not going to worry about him. Um, that's because I made that noise with that door. So here's this plague heart. Now this is probably one of the easier plague hearts to do and I'm gonna explain to you guys why this is an easier play card. You guys see that I built that outpost right there, right at the very edge of the play card. So that circle of trust or circle of entry trust, however you want to call it, it's obscuring some of the spawn area of that play card. Now I came over to this little ice cream shop store right here, and this is also going to put a little circle. And if I can get on the other side of the play card and build another circle, now I've decreased the area where the zombies can spawn. So they have to go like all the way around wall. You know, they can't spawn up in the area um, that the plague heart's in, so they have to go all the way around, which gives you more time to kill the plague heart. And you're gonna say, well, damn, Prime, how you gonna kill the plague heart? You got no grenades, you don't got any kind of good guns, you don't, well, there's an old saying, you go boot gang, you just you kick the crap out of the heart, and then you kill it, and that's the direction I'm gonna end up taking here because I know I have to kill this plague heart. I need more samples. I need to be able to build a cure, and I also want to um, have turn this quest in as well. So I mean, it's kind of like that's what I have to do at this point. So here I am demonstrating how crazy a crossbow is if you're on the stealth position in the game, even if you don't have stealth as a skill. Look how strong this is. I was able to take out a whole herd of zombies, no problems. I can't kill the armored zombies because they are obviously armored, and shooting them in the head with a crossbow will do nothing. So I go in for the kill. I do an execution. Boom, done. Look at that. That's it. That's in a nutshell. That's how if you use stealth properly and crossbows in this game, it's easy peasy. You don't bust yourself up too bad doing what I just did there. So I go back in here. I think I want to offload all the crap that I picked up. I believe that's what I'm doing. Yep. And you notice I was keeping a Molotov handy. We're going to talk about Molotovs in a little bit. So I'm going to continue here looking through my inventory. And I believe I'm just trying to decide if I want to take the hunter's crossbow or not, because I don't have that many more light crossbow bolts left. But I don't want to do it because I don't want to put myself too far down on the encumbrance with a character with this much stamina. I don't want to push the envelope of stamina and be at the mercy of having to drink a soda or a snack or a stem to continue fighting. That's when you have extra resources, you can afford to do that. Since this is only day one of State of Decay 2 Nightmare Zone, I don't have the resources to actually push that kind of character and that kind of fight. So I picked up a nice little backpack there. I think I put it on, and since I'm looting right now, that's gonna be what I'm gonna do. I'll keep the big backpack on, but the minute that I know for sure that I'm gonna attempt to get myself into in some kind of situation where I have to fight, I always go back and revert back to the small backpack. Here's the funny thing. I picked up that huge bag that's a slaughter as well as his backpack. In my opinion, those bags are trash. They're too heavy. They're too big. They're 12 pounds, and they have 8 slots. I mean, if you don't have a choice, then I can see you using that particular bag. But that one right there that I just put in, I normally loot those bags so that I could uh, use them for influence later. Like if I find a vendor or a trader or something like that, a wandering trader, then I'll be able to trade for influence. That's the only reason I picked those backpacks up. I mean, the minute you can get rid of those things, the better. And the same thing with this backpack that she has on right now. If I'm able to get my hands on an ultralight backpack, that backpack she has on her back will also be going away as well. So that's what's cool about that. But here's the plague heart, and I peeped it out. Now, the plague heart itself is not going to really spawn anything on you because you're near it, because you haven't touched it yet. The minute you do some damage to it, then it starts to do stuff. So there I picked up a nice little Molotov again, And I'm gonna keep saying Molotovs, 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 right? You're gonna hear that probably 1,000 times through this whole playthrough. There's another big bag as well. And Molotovs in this game are very powerful. Hell, you can get your hands on fuel bombs. It's even better because it gives you a wider area and it gives you a bigger margin of error. But Molotovs are still good. If you ever find yourself pressured by three pharaohs, having a Molotov in your back pocket is going to probably make the difference between the pharaohs killing you and you being able to break away and getting yourself distance and deciding what you're going to do. Get elevation if you can get it. However you're going to decide to fight the pharaoh. So that's entirely up to you. The way I would do it if I didn't have faith in my ability to shoot good, I would try to get all the advantage in the world, get on top of a car, hit them with a Molotov, let them roll over on their back, then you run out from the car. As they get up, they start charging, they're going to come at you in a straight line. That's your opportunity to shoot. Let's say you miss, then you hit the dodge button, reset, go back in the car, do it again, jump off the other side of the car, and then get some distance, and then try to shoot them again, and rinse and repeat. I wouldn't be chancing, getting too crazy with them and dodging and stuff. If you have fences, use your fences, jump from one side of the fence to the other. Try to confuse them a little bit so that you can break. The whole deal with pharaohs is don't fight them up close. If they're on top of you, they're winning. If you can get distance on them somehow by using fences, using windows, using whatever you need to do, get on top of a vehicle, getting on top of a big trailer of a truck or something, getting yourself elevation and isolating them as best as you can. Get them out the way as quickly as you can because they're the only zombies in this game that you can't outrun. They're it. Juggernauts, you can leave in the dust. Bloaters, right. Screamers, you don't have to fight them. So, and even the regular zombies, you can run away from them as well. So, everything in this game you can run away from except for pharaohs. They're the only common denominator here that will do you no matter what you try to do. So, always keep that in mind. You run into one pharaoh, it's easier to manage. When you run into three, and let's just say they pop out of nowhere, and you don't have a Molotov, and you don't have a vehicle near you, and your stamina's low, that's how people lose their characters in this game. They get caught with their pants down, as I like to say. And I've lost plenty of characters that way myself, and it happens. That's why you try your best in this game to stay ahead of it. So here I am. I'm actually looking for circuits. That's what I'm really looking for. That's why these particular transformers right here. I was hoping that I would run into some circuits. I ended up not getting the circuits because I was trying to upgrade my workshop, and I believe it's 5 circuits to upgrade it to level 2, and that's what I was looking for. But I didn't get lucky. There's a pharaoh. I heard him, and this is what I mean. Like, get all the advantage you can on those dudes. Another reason why I get on these billboards and look around is to, especially with new characters, is to be able to hopefully spot a pharaoh. But you definitely see, like there, I just spotted a screamer, and you'll know, whereabouts the hordes are at or where the special zombies are at, and you also get to look around to see if there's any particular building that you missed that you don't see, and it helps in that sense. But like I said, I heard the pharaoh. I was up at the billboard, and I did everything in my power to take it out, which is what you should do. Here I try to take a long shot, but I think I hit the grass in front of the screamer. I don't think I hit the screamer there. I might have hit him in the shoulder or something. I couldn't tell exactly where I landed my shot, but I was like, yeah, whatever. He's really, really far away. I was just trying to see if I can Kobe it, if I can get it out there and see if I can Kobe Bryant that shot, but it didn't work out. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I noticed that my character right there is getting tired. See that little sleepy symbol? And if you're in yellow conditions, which means on the normal conditions, and you start running, you guys notice how I start getting that my bar starts decreasing. And the further that goes on, the less and less stamina you have. The less and less stamina you have, the less abilities you can do, the less running, the less, dodging. And here it is, guys. This is what I was talking about. I hadn't completed the quest. And here's another herd of zombies, a good, 8 to 10 plague zombies. And I believe none of them drop a sample. So until you kill your first plague heart, really, or you get lucky enough to get 2 plague hearts and you turn the quest in, um, that's the only way you can complete. Once you complete that quest, then you start seeing more and more plague samples drop. But again, you have to be very careful until you have enough samples to get 1 cure at least, which it requires 5 samples. I believe I got nothing. Yep. Oh no, I lied to you guys. I got 1 sample out of that deal. The zombie herd I killed beforehand, the one that was in episode 1, gave me nothing. So I believe at this point I have enough for the turning of the quest. I think I have 2 samples altogether. But I think I decide. Let me see if I'm right. I want to check and see. Yeah, I do. I got 2. I could have done it. I could have turned it in, but I chose not to. I decided to go super light here. Oh, well, put that big crossbow on because I wanted to check. Take in another character, and since I have no other range weapon to put, I think I put that heavy crossbow on, and I picked basically the first character that we were playing with initially. I think her name is Crystal, and I'm gonna load her up with I believe the 9mm and the light crossbow. And once I do that, then we're gonna head out, and I believe this is when I decide to go take this heart out. And like I said, the first few hearts in this game are not going to be uberly difficult. As a matter of fact, if you've killed a heart in standard zone, it'll be no different, in terms of hit points, in terms of like frequency of like enemies. The first few hearts are what I call soft core. They're not hardcore yet, but you will get to see a difference. Like after you kill your third heart, you start seeing a greater amount of zombies spawning, the possibilities of pharaohs spawning in between plague heart transitions. So it does get more difficult. So I load up on snacks here because I'm thinking things are gonna get bad, and it's better to have extra snacks than not to have any snacks and get done in. So better safe than sorry. I think here, since there's only 2 ways in, is that door and the door in the back. I close them both. That gives you a little more time. And there it is. There's the boot gang. So this is really no different than swinging a melee weapon, a standard melee weapon. So I, decide to kick it, save my melee weapon. I just want to keep an eye on that bloater. So that's why I tagged them. She said, bloater in the area. So I go to the map and then I select the bloater. So there, I see the zombie back there wanting to come in. So there's the first transition. And I believe I closed the door back up. And I'm waiting for the red smoke to clear. Now, you guys are not going to see an abundant amount of zombies. The reason for that is because I was able to set circles of trust all around this heart pretty much. And keep the zombies from spawning to a minimum. If you can do that to every heart, that's awesome. If you can like set up an outpost near or on top of the heart, that's fantastic. It's gonna make killing that heart that much simpler. And we're looking to not make the game harder than what it already is. We're looking to complete Nightmare Zone for the first time. This is what you have to do. This is how you have to play the game. If you come in with nothing, if you come in from another playthrough, then you have bullets. You'll probably have grenades. You probably have C4, and you'll be able to kill the hearts a lot quicker. So right there, there's a zombie that came through. I see it's only one of them, so I wasn't too worried. I'm waiting for there's another zombie there as well. I ended up trying to kick it a couple times, see if I can kill it before they jump in here, but at this point, there's another zombie coming as well, so I turn around. I know that it doesn't have that much left. I think maybe 4 or 5 more kicks, and that's the end of the play card. It'll be that's something I didn't explain. There's 3 transitions to a play card. I'm assuming you've played Green Zone and Standard Zone. There's 3 transitions in that as well, and every transition that happens, she'll say something like "It's almost done" or something, and then when you do that, it means it only has a few more hits left. And there you go. See, so I knew that I didn't have that many. So I picked up a rifle here and a couple. I mean, this wasn't an ideal situation play hard, but I mean, at least I got a rifle out of the deal and some grenades. I ended up in a rucksack, so I ended up coming back for all that as soon as I empty out my pockets, and I'm gonna empty out that play card and head up back to the house as soon as I can because I see, as you guys can see, I'm completely full. So that's when you have to make a decision. Do you continue, looting stuff, or do you go back to the house and offload all those rucksacks? The smart thing to do is once your trunk is completely full of rucks, then that should be your time and your mind to say, okay, it's time to go home. In the case of this situation, there's really only one option left, and that's to go home. So I end up taking out the fuel tank out, the extra gas can, since I know I'm gonna go home. I'm not gonna be riding around too crazy. There's no reason to have it in there. I got plenty of fuel to do that and some. So I decided to just take the gas can out, give my rucksack in there, and go ahead and finish looting this plague heart in this area. And I think that's what we're gonna do right now. Yeah, see, it's pick everything up. I ended up just getting rid of everything. I'll take everything back. It'd be nice to notice I put that big backpack on, cause why not? You know, at this point, getting closer and closer for my cardio skill. I got 6 stars. Once you get 7 stars in any skill, you get to unlock the second tier. The thing about this game is that you don't get to choose like what tier you want, like always. Sometimes you get a character that it'll give you all 4 of the skills for the second tier. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get to choose 2. Sometimes you only get to choose 1. It's very random. There's no way of knowing exactly how you're gonna get, whatever skill to pop. Now, there are some traits that will give you an indication that you may get a particular skill, but even that's not 100% in the game. There's a lot of RNG in State of Decay 2 with loot. There's also RNG along with your skills. So earlier in this video, we had a comment left on the last video, and I touched it up by using another character from another community that already had Marathon maxed out, because at the time I didn't have any other footage to from this community with anybody that has Marathon maxed out yet. As you guys can see, she has 6 stars, and the other character, I think she just got Marathon, so you're not gonna see the actual marathon running around with gaining stamina as you run until you max it out to 7 stars in tier 2, which will be marathon. So that's why I ended up using a different character. So here I see a single zombie, and I take a few swings at it and take it out, just so that I can work on the actual melee attack. That's the only way to level up stuff in this game, is to actually attack. If you want to level up your wit, which is where stealth and other skills will show up, you have to like scouting stealth. What's it called? Oh God, I can't. It starts with an R, and I'm brain farting it right now. It'll resourcefulness. That's another skill you get with wit. So the only way to do that, it's by looting, and you have to do all these things. There we go. See, now I got to choose, and I chose, I believe, stealth. Um, so that's just to show you, you don't, you can have a character. I've had characters where none of the characters I had in one community had stealth, and that was a bummer. It's happened. Sometimes all three of your characters that you first get, all three are stealth capable, which is the ideal situation, because then you can choose kind of like which direction you want to go. Do you want to have all stealth characters, or you want to have one character with backpacking, or you want another character with, another skill. You know what I mean? So that's you want a character with like discipline, or you want that's when you really start to think about what you want to do. Because in my opinion, if you have two stealth characters in your community, then you're golden. And you're gonna ask, well, why two? Well, you gotta have a backup. Sometimes you get a little reckless with your character, or something bad happens, and nighttime comes, that character's hurt, and this way you're not forced to use medical supplies and resources to fix your character. You can actually just let the passive healing from your medical facility level 2 and above do its thing while you play with the other character that has stealth. So that's why I think it's important to have at least two stealth characters at a minimum. I mean, you can have as many as you want, but at a minimum, I think two is, is a must. But again, you may not have, the opportunity to have two stealth characters. You may only have one, so you just kind of have to deal with whatever dice get thrown in your direction. That's one thing about Nightmare Zone, and actually State of Decay is very, very random. So, you don't always get what you want. Sometimes you get some of what you want, sometimes you don't. Now, I wanted to touch up on something about every single skill in this game that you can get from, let's say, the wit skill, the fighting skill, the shooting skill. All those skills can all be retrained by using specific manuals that specific vendors will have at specific times randomly throughout your playthrough. Now, there's a higher chance of getting what they call a wandering trader that has all these specific books on the weekends from Friday to Monday, like at midnight, Sunday at midnight. I think it's Pacific Standard Time. It resets. So you have a greater chance if you play on the weekends to run into these specialty vendors, which a lot of us old school players look forward to, because they normally have a couple books, if not a book, for retraining like shooting and retraining wit and retraining mental abilities and stuff. So um, I'm gonna touch probably a great more deal into those specific books and those specific skills as this playthrough continues. But I wanted to throw it out there that those skills are able to be retrained. Now, your actual fifth skill, which is normally like mechanics or craftsmanship or whatever it is, whatever those skills are. You're basically like your trade skills. You cannot retrain those, which is weird. You should be able to. Um, I don't see why Undead Labs couldn't make a book to reset those specific fifth skills if you wanted to, but you cannot. So, uh, just wanted to throw that out there. Now, notice that I waited a whole day to come over here um, to this particular gun shop. Now, I would say that if you get a crap weapon from the first little military outpost that you go to here in Mega Valley, you don't get something that's worthwhile, then I would beeline to this place right here. And but I did. I got a pretty good 9mm. I was pretty happy with it. So I ended up just waiting to come over here and started getting all my other stuff, uh, like my supplies to get my medical facility going, which to me was more important than coming in here and grabbing a couple guns at the time. So since I had a crossbow, since I had a 9mm, a decent amount of bullets, um, I wasn't too concerned to come here like right away. You know what I mean? So that's why you didn't see me come here in the first episode, and I ended up coming here now before it became dark to pick up the rough sack because you're gonna get a ammunition rough sack out of this deal at least, and sometimes 2 to 3 guns. There, I get a crossbow, which is really weird, man. I've never gotten this many crossbows like this early. Normally, I struggle to get a crossbow, let alone a light one, let alone any type of crossbow, to be honest. But in this game, in this particular playthrough, I got a hunter's crossbow, I got a light crossbow, now I got the classic crossbow there, and it's really weird. That's a really rare gun right there. That civilian Vector ultralight. I love the way that gun looks. It's just a cool looking gun. It looks like something out of like Battlestar Galactica, type of weapon. So I'm a huge sci-fi dork, so I like weapons that look like that. They look all kind of crazy looking like that, futuristic. Um, so anyway, there was a discussion about like people complaining. Well, I won't say complaining. That's kind of like a trashy word to use. I would say more like people bringing to light that there's not enough space in your inventory for the amount of loot that that there are in buildings and whatnot in this game. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but before I start looting an area, I decide where I want to loot. I pick a spot, and then when I pick the spot, I try to pick the most convenient spot to put an outpost in that vicinity. That way, I can offload everything I have. Even if I have six slots or 8 slots, it's irrelevant. I run over and drop all the stuff off, see, right in my supply locker in the outpost, and you empty out your pockets, and you get everything you possibly can get. You don't have to like go to your base, with your truck full of stuff and your pockets full of stuff, offload and then come back. You could just set an outpost either at the location you are, or you set up an outpost near where you're going to be like operating on. That way, you're only maybe 100 meters away from dropping your stuff off, and not only are you saving gas, you're also not making a whole bunch of noise. Because I tell you what, driving around a nightmare zone, in a car, uh, and let's say you don't have a fifth skill as a driver, you're making a bunch of noise. And whenever you get out of your car or your truck or whatever it is that you're driving, your van, you're gonna attract a lot of attention. You know, sometimes one zombie, sometimes six. And depending how you deal with the egressing part of your vehicle, like I just did there, you see how I stopped the car right in front of this enclave. The reason I did that is because I know there's an enclave here. They got guns, and even if 4 zombies show up, it won't be that much of a hassle. But you shouldn't do what I did there. You shouldn't park your car there. Now, what I'm doing here is let's see, he has engineering as a fifth skill, so I'm looking at to see if these people are Sicario. See that guy? That's the guy mine out. I'm gonna tell you guys why. I think the first person had like music or some really weird fifth skill. This other guy had craftsman, which is kind of like meh. And as a fifth skill, and the other one had a blank slate. Now I want the blank slate because I want to be able to dictate what particular fifth skill class I want. But before I can decide that, I have to see like if he's worth keeping. And that's a decision that you guys are gonna have to make whenever you play this game. Is like you're gonna pick people up and you're gonna look at the talent and you're like, oh yeah, this guy has what I want. He has stealth, or he has scouting, or he has whatever skill that you're like happy about. But then you look at their traits. They have traits, I should say, and they have something like you know whatever the traumatic experience or something, and night terrors and whatever, eats a lot of food, or is a hoarder, so he needs a certain amount of medicine to be at the base, or he's gonna spaz out and start fights, and it just becomes a hassle. So that's you have to see if the characters that you pick up are worth keeping. And I'm probably gonna go more in depth on the next episode when I think it's the next episode 3 or episode 4, because I've already pre-recorded a lot of this game footage. So when you guys see this, I've already pretty much started production on episode 3 because it's already pre-recorded. I just have to do the voiceover dub that I'm doing right now. So I can't remember if it's the third or fourth, but I start picking people up, and then you're gonna see I'm gonna go into greater details on like what you should be looking for, what's gonna benefit your community, and sometimes you have to bite the bullet, for the sake of having 5 people in your community, and you're gonna be like, well, what do you mean bite the bullet? If the character sucks, it sucks, and I see I'm deciding between marathon and backpacking. I'm gonna choose marathon because she already, I believe, has stealth. So this character is already kind of being molded to be that knight character. That's two out of the 3 things I like so far. So the third thing, the trifecta for me would be gunslinging, but that we'll have to wait to see if she actually gets gunslinging or not in the near future. So, but anyway, back to biting the bullet. Sometimes, in order for you to move, like I want to move right now, my whole goal is to get a level 2 um, workshop because I already have a level 2 infirmary going. And I want a level 2 workshop so that I can build repair kits to be able to repair my vehicles. That's very important. That's right up there with the medical facility, right? So you need a level 2 workshop, and you're also gonna need a mechanic. Now, I believe I picked up a mechanics book, or I will pick up a mechanics book very shortly. I don't remember exactly when it happens, or if it's already happened. And I think it happened in the last episode. But I already have the mechanics book, or I will have the mechanics book. So I have to decide like who's gonna be my mechanic. So normally, I choose one of my better characters to be the mechanic because I want to make sure that I'm gonna keep that character. So along with, let's say, my doctor, those are two kind of like two characters that are normally my either my leaders or my second in command, as I like to call them, or characters I use the most. So I won't take too many risks with them because they're important. And if they don't accidentally die on something silly by staying at the house, which used to happen a lot back in the day, guys. It doesn't happen as much now, but back in the OG Nightmare Zone, like last year, where like you would change out a character out in an outpost, and they'll have to run from the outpost to your house, and somewhere in between that they'll contract blood plague, and then they get to your house. You're not notified that he has blood plague, and then he just dies, and you're like, what the hell happened? How did he die? Used to happen a whole bunch, guys. I'm talking about a whole bunch in the old OG State of Decay Nightmare Zone. It was really frustrating. So now that they automatically appear at your base is a good thing. I'm not arguing that. So I went over there to, I believe, to take out that infestation. I don't like letting infestations build up, and that's something that you have to make a decision on when you're playing this game. Do you want to um, get out of your way a lot and knock out all the infestations in the head? I would say try to keep them at a minimum. Don't let them overlap more than 4. And you're gonna be like, well, why? What should I even worry about the infestations? Well, infestations what really determine, it used to determine more like your surges. Like whenever you got attacked at your base, depending on how many infestations you had, it would be how bad your surge was going to be, your attack. If you let it build up, it would. I mean, you can get a super surge where you'll have multiple juggernauts coming in along with pharaohs and plague zombies. Just it was insane. And back in the day, the NPCs weren't that good, so like they would die. You could lose half of your community in one attack. Nowadays, as long as they're equipped with a half decent weapon, they're a little harder to get killed on a surge, but nevertheless, it can still happen. So out of like custom, I decided that I make sure not to let more than 3 to 4 infestations roll. Now you saw that, guys. I did like what you call a pro player move there. I could have killed all 3 of those zombies. I could have wasted, the the light crossbow bolt. But I saw that bloater in the back there. So I was like, okay. So I'll just shoot the bloater. The noise is going to call out the zombies to the bloater. It's going to give me the time I need to loot this thing and roll out. So you're trying to be as efficient as you can be, and use your daylight wisely in this game. Or you can be Cannon Prime. The choice is yours. You know what I mean? Like you always have a choice. Now you saw that I picked up I believe it was some toiletries or something like that. It was like a little luxury item, and I immediately gave it to that community because I can get rid of it. Plus, I could use the influence. So um, that's another cool thing about enclaves, where if they're more than friendly, if they're honored or allied to you, they give you more influence for the items that you have in your inventory. But they only have a limited amount of influence. Some of them are like 500 or 1,000 at the most. So you have to be, mindful of how many items you want to sell them, because eventually they'll run out of the influence and they will give you nothing for it. You'll trade it for zero influence, and you can do that in this game, which kind of blows if you're not careful. So I tend to kind of, give them little knickknacks as I'm rolling by, especially if I pick something up in the area, I get rid of it that way, and I don't have to worry about it later. So what I'm gonna do here now, I believe, is switch characters out. But before I do that, I pick a leader. So I promoted her as a leader. I believe she's a sheriff, which there's certain things I like on my sheriff, and she has almost all the things that I want for a sheriff, for the sheriff legacy. So I think that's the way I'm gonna beat this game. I'm gonna beat this game under the sheriff legacy, just because it's a fun legacy to do. It's a difficult legacy, but it's a fun legacy to do. So we're gonna probably end up doing the sheriff legacy when the time comes. And so, what are legacies? Um, Legacies are basically like the end game part of this game. So we're right now in the very beginning. We're setting up our base. We're getting things situated. I just picked the leader. Now I picked the sheriff as a leader because it's the only person that I had available at this particular time. Can you switch legacies? And the answer is absolutely. You can just switch legacies all the way up to the end of the game, pretty much, and then you can only build certain buildings with that legacy. So that's another thing to think about. Like the sheriffs, you can build a hospital, which is like a level 3 uh, medical facility, but more like a level 4, and it's way better than a regular infirmary. So you can build a bunch of stuff on that particular hospital, and it's actually a pretty nice building to have. But it requires a large slot, which in the very beginning of the game, this little first base you have has 0 large slots. I think it has like three little slots. So you have little slots and then you have large slots. The legacy buildings require you to have a large slot. So eventually you have to move. There's no way to beat the game from this little base. You have to get 4 to 5 people so you can move into a what's it called, um, uh, a bigger base. So that's what I'm trying to get out. So that's what I was going to talk to you guys about. See, I'm looking right there and I see that we have a enemy enclave, and I look at this my aunt's prepper mission, and it's bugged. It's like off the scope right there, which is really annoying because that's a really cool mission to do. You get like a backpack initially out of it, a large backpack, a cool camouflage looking backpack, which is awesome. The next thing you'll get from that particular mission chain will be eventually like one of the jeeps, one of the like army jeeps, which are freaking cool as hell too. And at the very tail end of it, you get a bunch of supplies. Like that's a totally legit mission to do. Like it's a chain of missions. I believe it's 3 to 4 missions. The very last one is the best one because it gives you a massive amount of rucksack supplies. I want to say like 4 or 5 different rucksacks, 3 or 4 of them being supplies. So do I recommend that mission? Yes, the prepper mission chain is awesome. Do it if you get it. That's the problem. There's a lot of randomness to this game, so if you get that mission type, do it. I can't do it, so I'm a little bummed out right now in this playthrough because it's glitched. There's been several missions uh, that have come up that's like that goes off scope, and I'm not gonna like stress about it or get mad or nothing. I just you can just ignore it, and that's the thing about this game. Like you don't have to do any of these missions. The only mission you have to do is complete your legacy missions at the end. Those are there's no way around it. You if you want to beat the game, that's what you have to do. But all the rest of these missions are totally optional. There are some penalties to not doing certain missions for your characters. Um, in particular, you'll take a hit on morale. So you'll have like minus 25 morale because you didn't complete that particular character's mission that they wanted to do. So they'll get a little fussy for about 30 minutes, and if you have high enough morale in your base, and it doesn't even matter. There's not a big penalty for not doing those missions unless you have low morale, and then it can cause fights and people get injured, and or people can get pissed off and leave. So that's what you have to worry about. You have to manage morale. So here I am. I believe I'm trying to get my hands on some fuel. I wanted to make more Molotovs, and I believe that's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get my hands on fuel, I believe. And so I'm running around here. Uh, what? Oh, no, no, no. Yeah, I'm not looking for fuel. I'm actually looking to bring that car in. Yeah, that's like a Volkswagen slash Subaru, car right there. It has a Subaru hood to it. I like to call it like an STI, WRX STI. It's what I call this, but it kind of like it's kind of like a hybrid of that Volkswagen and a Subaru put together. Because Hyundai Labs does that with all their cars. They're kind of uh like mixed batch mixed batches of cars. So I ended up picking up this vehicle. I think what I'm trying to do here is turn that quest in so that I can make that particular enclave friendly to me. I believe that's what I'm gonna do, or I already did that. I can't remember what the heck I'm doing here. I know if I step the car here. Oh no, I'm still looting. That's what I'm doing. I'm looting stuff here. That's what I'm gonna do. And this character right here, I'm using no melee weapon. I'm using close quarter combat. And the reason I'm using close quarter combat is because I'm comfortable with close quarter combat. I don't know how to explain it, but it keeps my weight down, and I don't have to worry about uh, 3 extra pounds of weight on me. I can loot with her and still stay under like can see the little green bar in the top hand right hand corner. Whenever the loot menu opens up on the right hand side, guys, you'll see on the top right hand corner. You'll see it right now briefly. Boom, there it is. See the weight is in the green. That's perfect. And I stress this because stamina consumption is going to be very important early on in the game. As your character gets stronger, more hit points, more stamina, you get more. Your hands on more supplies. You get your hands on more stems and stuff like that. You can play however you want to play. I'm only playing this way because um, it, it, it's the most efficient way to play. How's that? So right now I'm looking to play as safe as I can play Nightmare Zone, but also playing as efficient as I can possibly play at the same time. I know that this might not be like everybody's cup of tea, but this is not directed for people that are pro aimers, pro players, champions of State of Decay 2. They can handle the 30,000 zombies coming at them with 2 bullets. This playthrough is not for you. This playthrough is for people that are stuck in standard zone or stuck in green zone, and they really want to uh, up their game to play Nightmare Zone. This video is really intended for people like that need like extra in and outs, just basic concepts and ideas of Nightmare Zone. And this is what this is directed to. So I hope the pro players will watch this. Maybe give me some pointers, on other techniques or something that I'm doing wrong. I'm open to criticism like anybody else. Matter of fact, I like criticism. As long as you're not a douchebag about it, I'm cool with it. Especially if I know you and I've played with you or whatever, and you say, "Hey, Prime, you could be doing this better," and I definitely uphold to that more because I know that your intentions are genuine. Now, there are some people out there, their intentions may not be genuine, and they're just, trying to troll you a little bit. And you get that from time to time too. But like criticism is good, guys. Criticism, it's really the only way that you will learn. Watching somebody play the game, I actually enjoy that. There we go. I picked something up here. I believe that it's cooking. That's actually a pretty good book. That's a fifth skill book that I just picked up, the cooking, and that's a really good book to get. But I'm actually looking for an agricultural book. That's what I'm really like hoping to get my hands on, and I think I strike out on this particular episode to get it. But anyway, back to criticism. If you guys want to criticize my gameplay or some of the advice I'm giving, feel free to leave a comment. I'll address it. And I might even talk about it in the episode, the next upcoming episode. Now I'm gonna warn you guys. I've already pre-loaded and pre-recorded about 4 of these videos, so I wasn't gonna I wasn't gonna make these videos like this initially, but since I noticed I was kind of amazed how many people actually liked this video, like the first one, the first beginner's guide that I made. It surged. It was like, I had like 40 views and like 30 likes. I was like, holy crap, that's insane. When you see a ratio like that, or I think it was more like 50 views and 30 likes. It was to me it was a crazy ratio because none of my videos have ever done that. I've never had a video where I I've gotten like that many likes along with so little views. Normally, get a couple hundred views if I'm lucky and like 20 likes or whatever. That's like the norm for me. So I believe on the comments, I left something like, yeah, if you guys give me 50 likes, I'll make the new video. I was actually joking. I wasn't expecting to get 50 likes, in any of my videos. Very rarely do I even get anything near 50 likes. So it's a rare thing for me to get any in the 40s and the likes. I've only got like maybe 1 or 2 videos that are 50 likes, and then I got one video that's over 100 likes. Just one, and that's my first State of Decay 2 Nightmare Zone 100-day challenge video. That's the only video that I got more than 50 plus likes on, for sure. So, I was just kind of fishing for likes, basically. I was just joking about it, and my intentions were to make more of these videos. Or what, somebody left a comment like, hey man, you better be joking about this, man, I'm getting into this video. And I started laughing because I was like, well, I was joking, I wasn't dead serious. I was gonna make this regardless of the fact. But I thought it was funny. I thought it was, hopefully, you guys like this video the same way you liked the first episode. And I guess I'll try to push these out as fast as I can. Now, you guys have to remember that, I got to play first, then I have to record the dub in, and then I have to like process the video, and then I have to upload the video, and then it's just there's an extra 2 steps to recording a video. So it's not like I play the video, I talk a little bit, play and upload, boom, done. It was a lot easier to do those 100-day challenge videos and all the other videos I've done in the past. So this one's a little different, but you know, uh, this is like a different kind of fun. I can watch myself play the game and comment on it. So um, enough of that. Let's see what the heck I'm planning here. So I turned in, I believe, the quest already. I don't remember exactly what the heck I was doing here. I know I was having fun with this car because um, it reminds me of driving a WRX. So I'm like freaking having the time of my life here. I believe I have a mission here to find somebody. I believe that's what I'm gonna do here. I believe that's what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I run into that plague heart, which you know means that if I get too crazy in this area, um, you can like doing that right. What I just did there, that's gonna call a couple plague zombies. Bashing over the door next to a plague heart is I won't say it's a no-no, but it's definitely not advisable. But I mean, didn't give me a choice. I gotta get in the building somehow. So I ended up picking this dude up, and I believe this will uh, lead up to some more questing that I will do. So why am I doing these quests? Well, this is the only way you can recruit people in this game. You kind of have to like have some kind of dealings with them. I'm hyper focused in getting two more characters in my community. I don't care what their traits are. I don't care what their stats are. I need two more characters. And you're gonna say, well, why do you need two characters so bad, Prime? I want to move. In order to move, you need X amount of influence, depending where you want to go to. Like the building I want to go to, I believe is 1,000 influence. I need to move. I also need 5 people. Where do I want to move? In this base, I like the police station. And you're gonna say, well, isn't the distillery better? And the answer is yes. The distillery is better. It requires an extra person. It requires 6 people to move. It is better in the sense that you can have extra slots. You also have free running water. A couple of good things about having the distillery as your main base here. It's one of the better bases in this map. Some would argue that it's the best base in this map. And you're gonna say, well, why you don't want to go there, Prime? I said, well, here's the deal, guys. I have absolutely no way of making bullets right now. The only thing I can make are crossbow bolts. I can't. I haven't been lucky enough to find a press of any type. I don't. I don't have a whole long list of weapons, let alone I haven't been finding too many bullets. If you guys notice, I've refrained. I've refrained a lot in shooting. I don't think I've maybe shot my gun once in the last 2 episodes. I've shot a lot of crossbow. Here we go. I picked up a medicine book, and there's a crafting book. There's a fifth skill books. This little area, this little office area here in Mega Valley, it's a good spot to find fifth skill books. But back to shooting. I like to shoot. I like guns. That's one of the things that I enjoy the most in State of Decay. I enjoy shooting weapons. I'm not a huge fan of the crossbow. Hell, if you ever see me play this game, you probably in the past you've probably never even seen me use a crossbow unless you watch me play the first playthrough where I had nothing, kind of like here. You'll see me use a crossbow, a little bit. But the minute that I'm able to produce, ammo, and I'm able to produce, have a character that has decent shooting skills, I start shooting. I just, I just like it. It's fun. I like shooting, weapons in real life. So why wouldn't I enjoy that in this game? You know what I mean? Um, so right now I have no way of producing ammo. That's what I want to get at. I can't produce any type of ammo. I have all this ammo in my inventory, but I can't do nothing with it. So you can say, well, Prime, you could just, do the random thing. Yeah, but you waste ammo supplies that way. You don't get exactly what you want. It's random. So I could, if I was in a bind, to use the ammunition up so that it won't go to waste, I would do that. But in terms of like using the ammunition up, I would like to be able to have a particular press. Now, what is a press? A weapon press is something you use to make a certain caliber of weapon. In this game, you have like a small handgun, a weapon press. You'll have a rifle. You have like the weird 44 and 357 ammo press, and then you'll have a 50 cal press. Um, you have to find those in the world. You attach those to your workshop, and then you can make bullets. Now, you can make more bullets if you have chemistry as your fifth skill, and you have ammunition as your tier 2 from chemistry. And you'll make more bullets, a fraction of more bullets if you have that setup for the same amount of supplies. So that's the plus of having ammunition as your fifth skill, which I always have on all my communities because I like to shoot. But here's the deal, I got no way of crafting bullets. So how do I craft bullets is by moving into that police station. I'll be able to make 22, 9mm, and 45. And I use a lot of 45 in this game, especially if I get my hands on the Vector, which is one of my favorite guns in State of Decay because of the way it looks. And I have the Vector, or I have a 45 of any type, which I do. I ended up, I think I picked up the civilian uh, Vector pistol in this game, which I want to use, but I have no ammo for it. So um, here I am. I believe. What the heck am I? Oh, I'm checking something over here. I think I want to see if I can get my hands on. Believe this is medical supplies in there. I think that's what I'm trying to do. But again, what happens when you drive a car in State of Decay? You attract a lot of attention. So here I am trying to just extend the fight. See, I see how they vibrate. Look at the mini map. You guys see all that reverberation? Like you see these weird pulses. Whenever you see that, and you start fighting the zombie there, you're gonna. Whoa. Okay, this is part of the mission. This is what I'm trying to save this chick. Okay. I was just wondering what the heck I was doing coming over here. I have this mission to do next, and you're gonna ask, well, why didn't you just fight those zombies right there in the street? Well, when they reverberate like they just did there, and like this chick is going off with the gun, you guys see the little circles of noise that she's making. Zombies automatically do that. Now, they may not be a zombie within that circle, but I'm gonna guarantee you that if I had scouting or if I had a red talent, you will see the zombies spawn around the edges of those reverberations. See, now there's more zombies here because she was shooting, and those zombies as well were calling out, zombies, the ones that I left over there, and I went around the corner. So you saw what I did there. I threw a Molotov cocktail, but I didn't throw it at the zombie that's in front. You want to throw it to the zombies in the back of the line, and you're gonna be like, "Whoa, how does that work, Prime? Why did you do that?" Well, when you hit the zombies with the Molotovs in the back of the row, they're gonna run forward and they're gonna pass, that the gift that keeps on giving. You know what I mean? So they ended up getting all the zombies. I only Molotov the two in the back, but I ended up getting almost the whole herd of 8 or 9 zombies with one Molotov by doing that technique. So that's something to keep an eye out. Like when you're being chased by a bunch of zombies, like I was being chased right there, and you want to make the decision to use the Molotov, always try to aim towards the back of the road if you're able to. I know sometimes this game can get hectic and you can miss the Molotov throw. I know I have. That's why fuel bombs are so much better, because even if you miss, it has such a big area of effect that you'll still get to at least the targets that you were intending to get with the fuel bomb. But I mean, with the Molotov, you got to be a little bit more precise. But it's a get out of jail free card in this game. Molotovs are a great way of eliminating humongous amounts of zombies without you having to put your character at great peril. So I believe that's what I was doing. I believe I was trying to complete this quest. This is for these are the alcoholic people. That's what I call them. They're eventually their enclave. They'll be able to make alcohol, which and they'll also become chemists. Like every single one of these characters here is a chemist, either a bartender or a chemist. That's what they are. So I know that because I've done this quest a billion times. So if you need a chemist and you don't have the actual chemist book and you don't have an extra person to turn into a chemist, then you do these quests. I think it's 4 to 5 quest chain. Once you complete the chain, then they'll become allied to you. You can request like drops of like alcohol stuff that you can trade later, or that's normally what becomes like their radio call for them. But the most important part is that you'll be able to take one of these characters and integrate them um, into your homestead, which is what I want. That's what I'm like hell bent on doing right now, is getting my hands on some characters. So sometimes the game can be stingy with like I don't know if you noticed, I haven't see that quest is off the map again. So the warlords to catch a thief, I can't do it even if I wanted to because it's bugged. So I end up just finishing. I can't do the prepper or the warlord. So I think what I decide to do here is just do a little looting, and there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm a little PO'd about that, but I think what I'm gonna do here is probably go over and grab some supplies. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing here, because of those 2 quests being bugged, and No, there's no fix for it that I know of. I don't know if Undead Labs is even aware that those two quests are bugged. They have been bugged in the past and they fixed it, and then they come out with another update and then they're broken again. So this is not. This is kind of like an ongoing cycle with State of Decay. So unfortunately, I couldn't continue that quest line, which, like I said, kind of got me a little mad. So I believe I'm trying to think like what my plan is, what I'm thinking about doing right here, and I believe I'm gonna take this outpost, get my since I have enough influence. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get two medical outposts, and I talked to you guys earlier about that. I said that you there's two basic components here that are gonna be difficult to deal with in State of Decay. One of them is gonna be medical supplies, and the other one's gonna be ammo. Those are the two that are kind of uh, gonna be the things that you're gonna bleed or lose in your base that you can't regain easily. So I tend to grab outposts, and specifically early on in the game, two of them to mitigate the two medical costs it's gonna cost you. No matter what, every day you're gonna lose two medicine if you don't have two medical outposts. And if you have both of the medical outposts, then it'll be at zero. You don't lose or gain any medical supplies. So you technically need um, three outposts so that you every day will gain one medical supply. Which, in my experience, as long as you're breaking even, you're doing okay. You know, in this game, you don't need to like be on the plus side on everything. As long as you're breaking even, then you're good. Like I said, it's easier to find supplies and it's easier to find food in this game um, versus let's say medical supplies and ammunition. So that's just something that's a little food for thought here. So that's what I'm trying to do here. That the freaking zombies are just on a roll here. They're I can tell that the game is already starting to ramp up a little bit after I kill that first plague heart, and we're going, I believe, on day two. So it you can see how the game starts to ramp up a little bit. And what I'm trying to do here is hit up all the little points so that I can make this an outpost, which I end up doing right here. I end up getting rid of like everything extra that I have. I kept the Molotovs on me because I got this feeling. So there we go. I get my wit skill and I end up picking up between scouting and stuff. You know what I'm gonna pick. So now I'm set. I consider this community at this point in time set for nighttime. I have two characters with both stealth and uh, marathon. Now they're not maxed out, but at least I know that I have two characters that I can do something with, you know, at nighttime. So that's kind of a big plus, having two characters like that. Um, so now the only thing I need to figure out in the game, which we will figure out with time, is going to be like what the other fighting skills and what else I'm going to do. And I believe I made her a mechanic. I believe last. I think I had the mechanics book on the first episode. I don't remember right, 'cause she's already a mechanic. So I am gonna be ultra focused in the next episode on getting that shop to level 2, and also on being able to do any quest for any of the enclaves. That's what you're gonna have to really focus on, or any kind of quest where they'll be like, help me, whatever, whatever, and you're like, oh man, I gotta. Most of the time you get there and they're dead, but there's that off chance that um, they'll be able to join you, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking to gain some people in your ranks. So there we go. See, I got myself a plague sample, and I was pretty stoked about that. And of course, zombie shows up, and in the middle of me putting stuff away, I gotta kill him. And again, I'm using close quarter combat, as you guys can see. So I don't think she has close quarter combat as the skill. I'm just using it as close quarter combat because I want to stay light, and I know I'm gonna be looting with her, so I want to keep her as light as possible so I can reap the benefits of the stamina cost not being high whenever I decide to dodge or whenever I decide to do a takedown or something. The stamina cost ain't gonna be as atrocious as it is if you're like under yellow or red condition. Right there, I'm yellow. If you guys notice, and you'll see how fast my stamina goes down whenever I'm moving around versus like when I'm light and like right now. Watch how little my stamina moves whenever I'm moving. So that's if I'm gonna touch up on what I said earlier on this video, if there's two skills in this game that you should take advantage of, it's gonna be marathon and stealth. Marathon is only effective if you keep a character under light conditions, which means keep that bar in green, keep yourself lightly loaded, and you take a full advantage of marathon when you max out the 7 stars in marathon. So that's to me, it's gonna be kind of like something you should inspire to get if you can get it. So I think right here what I'm trying to do is pick up a rough sack of supplies and I think my car is full right now, I believe. And of course, look what happens. Now watch, see those reverberations. Though. Pay attention to the zombies. See where I dropped the fire so I can hit the zombies that are gonna move in position to kill the other zombies. You don't. They were pretty spread out, but I was able to do it. But they reverberated really bad. And this zombie's not cooperating with me right now. So, um, normally when you see those type of reverberations, like that many zombies, they uh, they end up coming a lot more. So I got pretty fortunate there that only like one or two extra ones showed up. Normally, if 5 zombies all decide to reverberate and not attack you, you're guaranteed to get a pretty big herd on top of you really fast. So I got pretty lucky there. I decided to terminate my supply room because she started getting sleepy. You see the little Z's, and you don't want to get caught out there fighting a big fight when your character's like that because you're basically going against the clock. So I think what I'm gonna do here is put all my supplies away and set her up for a goodbye. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this content. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for the shares and likes and all that great stuff. You guys have a great day or night. Like, love, and peace. Congrexes. Checking out.